In the central nervous system, Gaba is an important neurotransmitter. The nervous system contains a network of neurons which transmit signals to different parts of the body. By now, you should be aware that the central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. Its job is to transmit messages from the body via neurons to the brain and then send back instructions via neurons on how the body is to react. Today, we are looking at how GABA asserts an effect on these neurons within the human body. GABA is the major inhibitory neurotransmitter in the central nervous system. It is a ligand-gated chloride ion channel. The GABA receptors respond to the neurotransmitter GABA aminobutyric acid, which is synthesized from glutamine. There are two types of GABA receptors: GABA A, which is ionotropic receptor, GABA B, which is a metatropic receptor. In this presentation, we are just going to focus on GABA A. It has one chloride channel. The GABA A receptor has two GABA neurotransmitting binding sites. It also has a benzodiazepine binding site and other barbiturate binding sites, including one for ethanol. When two GABA ions bind with the GABA receptor, the chloride channel opens, allowing chloride to enter into the intercellular fluid. This causes an inhibitory response which causes hyperpolarization in the neuron. Another way to say this is that the neuron is then less likely to fire an action potential. So what happens when we add drugs such as Valium and alcohol into our system? Valium is a benzodiazepine. Benzodiazepines and alcohol or ethanol, when consumed, will also have an effect on the GABA A receptor. If a person was to consume large doses of both Valium and alcohol, what effect do you think it would have on the GABA A receptor? We have already learned that the GABA is inhibitory in nature and thus reduces the excitability of neurons. Common side effects of both benzodiazepine and alcohol include drowsiness, lethargy, and fatigue. At higher doses, they can cause impaired motor coordination, dizziness, vertigo, slurred speech, blurred vision, mood swings, and euphoria can all occur, as well as hostile or erratic behaviour. If someone was to be taking benzodiazepine at the same time as drinking alcohol, they would have twice as much of an effect on their GABA receptors. This means that there is a longer and greater influx of chloride, causing a longer and greater reduction in the ability to create action potentials or central nervous system activity. This can cause drowsiness, confusion, and even respiratory depression. If the body is producing few or no action potentials, we would simply not be able to maintain homeostasis. In other words, we could die, or we would die. Chloride ion movement in skeletal muscle is via voltage-gated ion channels. Skeletal muscle works under voluntary control in response to a signal from the somatic motor neuron. Muscles will either contract or relax when they receive messages from the CNS. Voltage-gated channels change membrane potential in order to create action potentials. The initiation of a muscle action potential is conducted into the interior of the muscle cell along the T-tubules. Normal muscle requires a high resting chloride for fast repolarization of these T-tubules.